They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the report could even be filed. Emma really idolized her big sister, which is kind of sad. I don't like this. Why not the sisterly love? Where's the love? No hentai with it, but still sisterly love. You know, like the happy family kind of love with like hugs and kisses and yeah. Anyways, but now you're the chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could later use the experience in court. Gant's helped in the SL9 case was Gant's help in the SL9 case was critical in its resolution after that. He became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about the investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Dark investigation. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detective investigating Dark. Second in command? That means Chief Detective was, no doubt, Damon Gant? Yes. The Detective Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. We led the team of the best detectives on the force. Wait, so the best were basically Detective Goodman, Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, and Neil Marshall. Huh. Detective Goodman, whose case was, Give me a sec. Gotta get the thing, I gotta get, like... I gotta get better with this. Give me a sec. Okay, anyways. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Understandable. He wanted to at least be a part of it. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial murderer. We asked him to come for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when the last murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Which is kind of bad. Detective Gant and the Prosecutor Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages when Dark must have panicked. He waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. That kind of makes no sense, though. Sorry, getting distracted because I'm like receiving text. Oh, god damn it. Freaking Pikachu picture. I gotta at least put. Focus. Valentine's Day is over. Will you chewy my Valentine? Aw, it's so adorable. Oh, it's so adorable. Okay, I'm done. Anyways, he waited until Gant and Marshall. Okay, we already read that. And from there, he ran straight to the office, shared by Detective Gant and myself. That's where he found me. Wait, so technically it might not mean just Emma. What if he went after Gant? Because technically, since they were sharing the same office, he might have been wanting at least the other person's items of sorts. Anyways, so you were the first person to run into the scene, Lana? Whatever. It appeared so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had, technically it should be, and Emma, who had passed out. Oh, wait. Oops. I kind of fucked that up. Whatever. And the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark was incurred a minor concussion and laid unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her after that. I mean, after all, her sister might have been gone through. Whatever. You know what? I'm reading poorly right now, so I need to at least get the tempo of it. After that, I placed Dark under, immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident? That's right. Quite a coincidence. I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. But the case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to the extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. AKA Officer Marshall. Yeah. Give me a sec, sorry, that was a horrible burp. Excuse me in advance. Anyways, Officer Marshall, yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he changed completely. Well, yeah, I would be too if, you know, my family member would be killed. I'd be hella pissed and would want to at least go after the person that fucking did it. Meh. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Because if my guess is right, and we've already at least went through the whole thing about it, it's gonna be true. February 24th, Police Department, Criminal Affairs. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere. Things seem kind of quiet down around here today. You're right. The head of the department seems the same, though. Why don't you look for some other people to talk to? Right. Give me a sec. Alright, well, here goes nothing. Nothing good so far. Let's head to the police entrance. February 24th, Police Department entrance. Oh, Marshall. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Sierra. You never know where life will lead you, Bambina? I should have known my luck would had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? He must be, it must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But, Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Sorry about it, Marshall, but at least anything you can give us would be pretty, useful. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. Huh? The murder weapon? You mean the switchblade? The switchblade knife with the broken tip? Just the tip. That was Joe Dark's, all right. But in an initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound in the victim's the wound victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there was a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report was finally submitted and the possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with the forged evidence? That's possible? The case left behind scars on all of us. The scars the SL9 incident left behind. Poor... whatever. Prosecutor Marshall. I don't like going over this, but yeah, sure. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. Oh, I'm sorry. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You don't mean the king of prosecutors? Not that again, please. What are you looking? What are you looking at me like that for? That honor is for that honor is for you know what? Fuck it. What are you looking at me for like that? That honor for a prosecutor. I can't even get his voice anymore. I'm losing the type of voice I was trying to go with. Whatever. Mr. Marshall must be really been close with his brother. Well, it's family after all.
It's Ohana. Ohana me family? Family means motherfucker, if you touch my my cup of pudding, I'm gonna fucking cut you.
Anyways, the day of the SL9 incident took place. That wasn't the same as... That's right. It was the day the evidence transfer. Oh, interesting. It was the drizzling morning. By the nightfall, there was a thunder. I can't believe 2 years ago have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so that the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. Scars. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in the investigation, the investigation save one was taken care of. Technically, two were basically taken care of. Miss Starr was fired. I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioner would have the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Starr. Damon Gant and Lana, and Sky. Lana Sky, whatever, fuck it. Chief Detective Damon Gant and his second in command, Lana Sky. I'm losing my temper, fucking A. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. The case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office. Let me try that again. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah. Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that happening. She'd never been the same since she left. Oh. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secrets are too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There was one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. No. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get the guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him the evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Oh. He just pops it right up. Yeah, I don't need the top anymore. Too bad I won't be around to work with you. Oh no! See, now he even says that when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. No, Marshall!